Okay, welcome into my 32 and 32. I'm going to continue with the New York Rangers. And as I do with all my videos, I like to display the home jersey and the reverse retro. And I got to say, I'm not that big a fan of this one. It's exactly like their 2021 reverse retro, except it's a lighter blue. There's a 2021 reverse retro and 2022. Yeah, it has the Statue of Liberty logo, which was, I think they used it, if not in the late 90s, for sure in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. So, yeah, it's neat because obviously the Statue of Liberty being in New York, so it's kind of relatable, I guess, but I'm just not that big of a fan of it. But I guess if I'm looking at it from another perspective, what else can the Rangers really do? Because all they ever really have is just that Rangers. The words just going at a diagonal. And then aside from that, they really haven't had any other jerseys or any other logos, unless they had the actual logo on their jersey, which they may have had back in the day. Anyways, I'm kind of getting off track. Um, so last season, the Rangers finished with a record of 47 wins, 22 losses, and 13 overtime slash shootout losses for 107 points, finishing third in the Central Division. No, sorry, Metropolitan Division. Uh, they went on to play Jersey in the first round. They won the first two games. When they won the first two games, I was thinking, okay, maybe this series is going to be over a lot faster than a lot of people had thought. But then Jersey won games 3 and 4 at Madison Square Garden, got game five. New York would bounce back in game six, but ultimately they fell short in the do or die game seven. And their season came to an abrupt halt. And I'll go over the rosters, but you thought that after they made the two key trades last year, that would have helped them propel them get over that hump, considering back in 2022 they got all the way to the conference final without these two key additions. So it just goes to show that you can add all the talent in the world, but you're not necessarily going to have that much success or as much success as you would hope. So during the offseason, they made quite a few signings. They signed Blake Wheeler, previously played for the Winnipeg Jets. His contract was bought out by the Jets, so he has now signed on a 1 year contract. Jonathan Quick has been brought in as a backup to Shesterkin. He split with three teams last year. He was obviously with the Kings. That was his main team, but got traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and then he got flipped like a day or two later to the Vegas Golden Knights, where he had very little impact on the team, but ultimately he was on the same team that would go on to win the Stanley Cup. So he has yet another ring to his pedigree, or to his pedigree, I guess. They've also signed Belzile from Montreal Canadiens. He has signed on a 2 year contract. They've signed Tyler Pitlick. He just played with the St. Louis Blues just a season ago. They've also signed Riley Nash. He played last year in the AHL, but prior to that, he played with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2022. And then a couple other signings. They have signed Eric Gustafson on a 1 year contract. He came over from the Maple Leafs. And the other signing is Nick Bonino. He split last year with the Sharks and the Penguins. And then now he's a member of said New York Rangers. So what I'll do now, which I always do, is take a look at the rosters and see who has re-signed, who has yet to re-sign, or who has signed elsewhere. So I'm just going to adjust this, so just bear with me. So Igor Shesterkin has 2 more years left to go on his contract. Yaroslav Halak did not resign, so he is still a free agent. And I got a funny feeling that wherever he goes, obviously he's still going to be a backup, but I feel like being 37, 38 years old, his career might be winding down. So take a look at their skaters. So Philip Chittle, his contract did expire this past season, but he has signed an extension, 4 years, 4.44 mil. Adam Fox has 6 more years left to go on his contract. Barclay Goodrow has 4 more years left to go on his deal. Capo Caco, I do believe Capo Caco, has 1 more left to go on his contract. So I'm sure that during this upcoming season or next off season, he'll be looking to make bank, to say the least. Patrick Kane is still a free agent, but the only reason is because he had to have surgery during the offseason and he's still recovering. So I'm sure once he's good and healthy, any contending team that's out there would love to have his services. Chris Kreider has 4 more years left to go on his contract. Alexis Lafreniere has re-signed with the Rangers. I think it's a 2-year deal, 3-year deal. Where are we here? A 2-year deal. Yeah, so he's going to be a Ranger for at least 2 more seasons. Ryan Lindgren is coming into the last season of his contract. Nico Mikola has signed with the Florida Panthers. Keandre Miller has re-signed on a 2-year deal. Tyler Mott has signed with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Terry Panarin, the bread man, has 3 more years left to go on his contract. Braden Schneider has 1 more left to go on his inaugural contract. And Vladimir Tarasenko, the other key trade that they made last season, has signed a 1-year contract with the Ottawa Senators. Vincent Trocheck has 6 more years left to go on his deal. Jacob Trouba, the captain, has 3 more years left to go on his contract. Jimmy Vesey's contract did expire this past season, but he has re-signed a 2-year, $800,000 contract. And Mika Zibanejad has 7 more years left to go on his deal. So now I'll just go back to the main screen. Oh, where am I? Just to bring up their logos. Here we go. Okay. So coming into the 2023-2024 campaign, I believe I've said this on other videos that I honestly think they should be a top 3 team in that Metropolitan Division. I believe it's going to be the Hurricanes, the Devils, and Rangers, respectively. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be in that order. The Devils could easily get the #1 spot. If the Rangers can be as well as they were last year, they could even compete. But I don't see them going any worse than 3 in that 1 through 3 slots. Maybe if worse comes to worse, they might get a wild card spot, but that might be pushing it. As like I said, I truly believe they should be a top 3 team. Now, the big question is, can they get over that first round hump? If they have to play Jersey again, it's going to be tough because Jersey's a really good team, and if they have to play Carolina for some reason in the first round, I don't know. I don't know if I really like the odds of going against the Canes. I do apologize, but a good team, a very competitive team. Oh my gosh, cat has my tongue. But yeah, I believe when it comes to the Rangers, they for sure should be a postseason team. Like I said, I'd be very shocked if they finished in a wild card spot. They should finish, like I said, in a 1 through 3 slot in the Metropolitan Division. As always, if you happen to like hockey, I do content almost every single day. Feel free to hit that sub button. And as always, take care.